Welcome to Franklin Almanac. I'm Polikseni Manxhari. What's Almanac? It's a compendium of life in Franklin. As we approach the end of 2016 and ring out the old, we also bring in the new with our very first edition of Almanac, our news magazine dedicated to all things Franklin. What's happened? What's happening? What matters? We'll bring you stories, whether new or ongoing, all of interest and all filled with life right here in Franklin. Our very first story, it's in the bag. Did you know that a single-use plastic bag can take anywhere from 20 years to perhaps 1,000 years to decompose? Chemicals such as high-density polyethylene, HDPE, can cause damage to soil and water. Bags can also result in the death of marine animals who sometimes mistake them for food. The average American family goes through 1,500 bags a year. That's about 500 bags per person. Plastic bags are a convenience, but with over 30,000 people in Franklin, all those bags add up to what might be too much of a good thing. In Franklin, the concern over plastic bags began with a group of 15 Franklin High School students who gave a presentation to Town Council. The students were enrolled in an AP Environmental Science course. Their detailed presentation included a number of national statistics and a petition of support signed by several Franklin businesses. A link to the petition can be found on the Franklin Matters website. Franklin's Economic Development Committee also met recently to consider a local prohibition on plastic shopping bags. For some, the issue may appear black or white, but many Franklin residents were stirred up, voicing strong opinions. To get an idea of the pros and cons, I sat with Committee Chairman Andrew Basanti before the meeting. Thank you for joining us.
No problem.
So what was it about the students that really motivated this to kind of continue?
I mean, we have an outstanding recycling program in Franklin right now, but I think the plastic bag thing is it's a topic right now that's on the forefront of a lot of towns that are really environmentally attuned to what's going on in their state.
Right.
It comes down to the biodegradability and
Absolutely.
the certain parts of chemicals that go into our water system and stuff like that. Some people are very alarmed about that. Other people are challenging that. And the big retailers are all saying, this isn't going to work for us. And it's the elderly are saying this isn't going to work for us. We need plastic bags for handles. And there are those that are saying, we are basically reusing these bags. I mean, there's a number of people that are saying we use these bags for walking our dogs, and we use these bags for lining our trash lines. We reuse them. So there is a certain factor of reusability right now with these bags going on right now.
Okay.
So.
And I know that there's at least 30 cities and towns all around Massachusetts who are already prohibiting plastic bags. Why do you think other towns are trying to adopt it or maybe even go against it?
I think it has a lot to do with the retailers and merchants in the various towns and how environmentally minded they are. Okay, and I'm not saying, again, I don't think our merchants are environmentally against improving it. I personally belong to a couple of environmental organizations myself, but I would tell you that there is a cost factor to paper bags.
Sure, yes.
And let's face it, the bottom line to a lot of these merchants is very important, and to cut the costs, and they don't want to pass more costs onto their customers.
Right.
So that's a big factor.
That's a big deal, right?
Yeah.
So I have to ask, how do you personally feel about this issue?
I do have a soft spot in my heart for the elderly of this community and the merchants of this community too. I mean, it may not sound like, but I've been doing my homework, and paper bags are not a tremendous expense, but they are an expense to most merchants to go strictly paper.
So where do you see the future of this issue? What do you hope that will come out of it?
Why not come up with a plastic bag that is biodegradable?
Right. That's what a lot of people have been saying.
Right. And then that will make everybody happy. But I don't know if the technology is there yet, or if it's there.
That's true.
Why don't we use it? So, I mean, I'm totally pro-environment, and I belong to a lot of clubs, but I would tell you that, what works on some main streets doesn't work on Franklin Main Street. The world we live in now, we have to consider the environment going forward.
And today, where everybody has a right to do anything that they want to do, we all have rights. That's in our Constitution. You have no right to be taking away someone's choice of paper or plastic. So I don't think it's fair to take away people's rights.
The proposal would prohibit any single-use plastic shopping bags and exclude Ziploc bags, dry cleaner bags, and paper bags. After an hour of lively debate among Franklin students and residents, the committee took a vote. Given current information, they opted for the time being to bag the prohibition rather than prohibit the bags. However, they did encourage the students to continue developing their research and explore other answers. One option growing in popularity: rugged, reusable shopping bags. Next, we chase down Shop Franklin's driving force, Sarah Manxhari, a woman on the move and on a grand quest to advance Franklin's local economy, one small, family-owned business at a time. Shop Franklin, that's Sarah Manxhari's mighty mission, mantra, and message. On November 17th, Sarah conducted Shop Franklin's first small business showcase at the high school. Franklin's Lifelong Learning Institute partnered with her to bring it all together. The free, well-attended event gave local businesses an opportunity to strut their stuff, presenting special products and services from handcrafted jewelry to portrait photography and much more.
So why do you think it's so important to showcase these businesses in Franklin?
A lot of people know, but maybe don't routinely recall that small businesses really are the backbone. When charitable organizations like parent-teacher organizations, PCOs, fundraisers, they go to our small businesses first a lot of the time and ask for contributions, and you see it in any fundraiser you go to. And I just wanted to do something to give back and make sure that they get that in return. So it's my way of saying thank you.
We are here with Marianne Wood of Dinnerware Jewelry. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. I wanted to show you a piece that I've worked on because it's a little bit of surgery. It's a little bit tricky. This is a really old piece of Japanese hand-painted china. So you can see there are figures on it, and the pieces I designed had butterflies, geisha girls, and just very colorful and fun.
When asked about Shop Franklin, most local business owners agreed that the showcase was a great way to get the word out. They got to meet new customers, many who are their own Franklin neighbors. Some local businesses in attendance: Noel Day Spawn Salon, Dog Lovers Grooming, Grove Street Auto Repair, Sarah Montani Photography, among many others. With their first annual small business showcase welcoming over 120 people, Sarah and her staff believe this event may well become a great tradition to usher in the season for many years to come.
I opened up a studio downtown about a year and a half ago, and it's just been a great way to help promote businesses. It was a big step getting to a brick and mortar location, and it's just been such a great community.
Many of our Boston commuters know Franklin Dean Station well. Our commuter rail line is a convenient, if not essential, way to connect a career in Boston with home here in Franklin. State Representative Jeff Roy and Town Council members recently discussed the rail line and possible futures for the aging station building. It presents something of a challenge. The building is assessed at around $100,000. If renovation costs exceed 30%, then new compliance regulations apply.
We have had several conversations with the MBTA in regards to that property. One of the points that they brought up that they would like to see, so if they're thinking of putting in a second rail and potentially bringing access to Gillette, one of their requests, and I think it would go a long way if we could provide it, myself and Jeff looked into this several times before, is they trek their trains down to Franklin currently from Boston. So they're running empty trains from Boston all the way down to Franklin just to service this line. And they had requested or hoped to have a place to park their trains within a reasonable proximity of the end of Franklin line. We weren't able to locate a reasonable parcel large enough to accommodate their needs. But if they're willing to put a double track and come down towards this way, either through Walpole or Norfolk or something within the reasonable proximity of ourselves, if we could find an open space that they could fit their trains so that they're not driving them back and forth empty from Boston to Franklin every day, I think that would be a good nugget to entice them to come down and help do improvements on our stations and stuff. Just a thought.
Just,
that was,
you know, you have to keep in mind the cost of a double
Yeah.
rail.
is significant.
Significant.
Yes, it is.
Exorbitant. But the real question that I have for the council, and it's something that has come up in the conversations that we have had with the MBTA folks who have come out here, is this a property that you want to take over and run?
The challenge of the station's future is not unique. Other towns have faced similar issues. Framingham's old station was sold to a developer who restored it as a restaurant. Today, a new commuter rail station stands next door. If costs prove to be impractical, it may mean the time has come for the station to leave the train. Franklin Downtown Partnership celebrated the season with its 8th annual holiday stroll around downtown and the Dean College campus. The evening was filled with festive carolers singing Christmas classics, along with the dazzling Christmas tree lighting at Dean Hall. Residents and students gathered around the Christmas tree with lots of hot cocoa on hand to enjoy the Dean College tap dancers and other holiday entertainment.
We're sitting with the man himself, Santa. How you doing today, Santa?
Oh, just awesome. I just can't wait for the kids to come.
Are there a lot of nice kids or mostly naughty?
Oh, of course, they're all nice. They all have good hearts.
We are standing here with Landon and Mason, who are involved in the holiday stroll. So tell us what your favorite part is.
Getting to see Santa and going to the fire station. Oh, and going to the train station.
Franklin's holiday stroll brought families out to begin their holiday shopping downtown. Small businesses opened their decorative doors to strut their holiday spirit and emphasize how enjoyable and convenient shopping locally can be. Of course, the evening would not be official or complete without a visit from Old St. Nick. Santa's favorite part of the holiday stroll? Celebrating with all the kiddies. Children's faces lit up as they sat on Santa's lap and told him what they hope to find under their trees this year. We have faith Santa will deliver. On December 7th, Police Chief Thomas Lynch introduced our 2 newest Franklin police officers to Town Council. Officer Tara Souza and Officer Jack Flynn were sworn in by Town Clerk Teresa Burr. Fellow officers, friends, and proud families congratulated them with applause. It was a special moment for Franklin and its residents as they and we welcomed Franklin's first female police officer to the team. Congratulations to both. Any Franklin resident knows there is so much happening on any given day, and we understand that sometimes it's hard to keep up with it all. To help you stay connected, we sat down with Steve Sherlock, Volunteer Community Information Director for Franklin Matters.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Steve. So I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about the website Franklin Matters. Mm-hmm. Now, I know it's geared to people who are interested in everything Franklin, but I guess that there aren't that many people in the area who know too much about it. So why don't you tell us a little bit about what Franklin Matters is?
Sure. It clearly is a website that spawns a Twitter feed, daily email. I focus the information there on Franklin Matters. Clearly, I tend to follow the budget, follow the money. So FinCom, Finance Committee, School Committee, because that's half the budget. and then the town council, because that's where all the ultimate decisions are made. I'd like to have more coverage around the planning board, zoning board of appeal, the conservation commission.
Okay.
That's kind of another group of reporting, but I'm clearly a volunteer. This is done in my spare time. Until I clone myself, I do what I can do.
Right. Well, speaking of which, tell us how you got involved.
Yeah. Chloe, we've been in Franklin now 20 years. My daughters had grown up, went through the usual, school district.
Right.
As they got into the high school, I started hearing about, the increase in fees and this budget issue.
Right.
As they also got into the high school, I didn't need to be home to help them with their homework anymore. So it was like, let me go find out what's going on. So I'd go to a school committee meeting, town council meeting. The meeting would go 2-3 hours. Look at the paper the next morning. Respectfully, a 2-hour meeting was, a 5-minute article. Really only covered 5 minutes of it. At the time, coincidentally, even though it was being broadcast via cable, cable at the time was sending the DVD to the library 6 months later. So in terms of timely info,
right,
it wasn't.
Exactly.
And then I started realizing that, little devices, MP3 recorders, portable, very easy to use. And I'm already a project manager, so I know how to go to a meeting and take notes and then post the notes right away so that people have, as
They're
the
informed.
action,
Exactly.
they have their action items so that they're right away. They don't have a chance to forget that they need to do something. So I said, well, I'll go to the meetings and take notes, post them, and see what happens. Okay. So that's what I did.
So when people go onto the website, what do they expect to find? What kind of information are you putting out there for residents?
Yeah, it effectively focused on the business of Franklin. So anything on the budget issues, anything on the bylaws, how is Franklin doing business? How are residents' lives, whether our taxes, our street cleaning, our trash collections. Schools obviously are also a big part of that. So I'll go into the school committee meetings and cover those. What are their policy decisions? What are their budget decisions? Are they going to be hiring teachers, or are they going to be cutting more teachers, et cetera? All those kinds of topics there is what I'm focusing on. The goal effectively is to create an informed voter, so that when we do have to go to the ballot, we at least know what we need to make an informed decision.
So why would you say that Franklin Matters is important to the community?
It's really one of the primary sources for that type of info. I've been working with the town, and the town just recently did their website, so they're going to be improving the information they share.
Okay.
They did not have an RSS feed. They did not have subscription via email. Both of those are now available, which is great. Yeah. But we still need to get people aware of that.
Absolutely. So we have to know, what is next for the website?
What's going to happen tomorrow? Does anybody know? Does anybody have that crystal ball? Clearly more collaboration, working with Franklin TV, working with the town to collaborate more. You've got great video. I've got the text. That's
Together,
a marriage.
it's great.
That's a marriage made in heaven. I know Jim Schultz and Sarah Mabardi are helping as well with the nonprofit and the small business arena. Also working with the cultural district to help build that awareness, get in a formal district.
Right.
So I'm working behind the scenes trying to pull some of those pieces together so that whether it's Franklin Matters or the town website or the cultural district website, somebody can go there and find out what's happening, whether it's a town meeting, a school committee meeting, or something playing at the Black Box, or something at Circle of Friends, or there's a Boy Scout troop, or Girl Scouts are selling candy, or whatever is happening. We try to put that in a position to be available to people, because right now there's no one place. Franklin matters. It's not about me. It's just about getting the information that's out there.
Visit the Franklin Matters website anytime at www.franklinmatters.org. The best way to keep up to date is to subscribe to Steve's email updates to get the latest on Franklin news and information every day. To subscribe, go to the Welcome Subscribe tab and enter your email address. When you receive a confirming email, just follow the link. You should be subscribed in about 5 minutes. As we approach the end of the year, it's a time to look back and look ahead. Looking back, a long-standing landmark, the old town hall, has gone, replaced by a new landmark, the Horace Mann Square. The father of education will take his place of honor at the original site of Franklin High School. Looking ahead, the new square will open early in 2017, offering new office and retail space and new reasons to visit our vibrant, newly renovated downtown. In 2016, downtown Franklin moved ahead, finally completing its beautiful, long-awaited master plan. Did traffic go with the flow? No problems from day one, as a transition to our new downtown traffic pattern went smoothly in both directions. As we close out 2016, we also want to say thanks to two retiring Franklin public servants. Our police chief, Stephen Bud Semerjian, who served for 39 years, and town clerk, Debbie Pellegri, our longest elected official of 33 years. Debbie continues to serve Franklin as a newly elected member of Town Council. We wish both of them all the best. That wraps up our very first edition of Franklin Almanac. We'll return after the holidays in late January. Our New Year's resolution? To bring you the comings and goings of life in Franklin. As we move ahead in 2017, we'd love to hear from you. What interests you about life in Franklin? Just email almanac@franklin.tv. We'll look forward to seeing you again in the new year. Until then, we wish you the best and brightest holidays. For Franklin Almanac, I'm Polikseni Manxhari.